Well, I'm back again. So I did the two videos about my fibroid journey, and the last video in part two, I talk about I was pregnant. So I found out I was pregnant. I cried for a day and a half because at the time that I found out I was pregnant, I was 30 years old when I found out. So I cried. After I got a good cry, I got over it and I dealt with it. But that was the beginning of my problems. I ended up still bleeding during the pregnancy. I ended up with gestational diabetes. I ended up with all kinds of problems with my pregnancy. I ended up being sick. I still was in pain from time to time because as the baby was growing, so was the fibroids. And because of the position of the fibroid that was on top of the baby, it made it very hard for the pregnancy. So instead of me going through the regular routine, going to the doctor so often, and then as you get closer to your due date, then the appointments get closer. I was going to the doctor all the time. All the time. It was always something, or either the bleeding was very heavy, either the pain was bad. It was just a lot of things going on with the pregnancy that I did not understand. And I wasn't around anybody who had experienced the things that I had experienced in the pregnancy, dealing with fibroids. So it was a lot for me to take on mentally and physically. And just to know that a fibroid was growing on top of my child was a mental strain too, because when you talk about fibroids could smother the baby, all kinds of stuff. You get all these things, three of them growing with you as the pregnancy is growing. And so that became very difficult for me to deal with. Like I said, with the bleeding, with being sick. And I didn't work. I couldn't work because I spent most of my time in the clinic or in the emergency room during the duration of my pregnancy, which was difficult for me. So I'll talk about part two next.